You all have your white stone. Okay, and a pen. I have a purple pen. You got a lot of stones? Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good thing to save them. I think it's a good thing to, to have that new name on the stone, and then also to put the date that you received the stone. And so like in Tim's collection, I'm sure he has dates on his so that he knows what year that was. So you know kind of what was happening that year. And some churches do the white stone ceremony and the burning bowl kind of at the same time. So you have release, and then you have this new name that you receive. And those are two biggies in my life. I love both of those ceremonies, but I want to spread them out. So I like doing the burning bowl at the end of the year so that I can release this old year thinking and stuff that I've been carrying going into the new year. And then halfway through the year, like July, I like to do the white stone because it spreads it out and it gives me time to really focus on each one of these rituals. So, that's not part of my talk. Anyway, I always like to start this talk with a reminder. And I often use this reminder, and I'm hearing that the Reverend Larry uses this thought, this idea. He expresses it in a little different words, but we, you and I, we are spiritual beings, and we are having a human experience. So you hear him say this too. Our spiritual self is remembering, and our human self is learning how to translate and transform energy into different uses and forms. That's what we're here for. That's what we're about as we're going through this life experience. And we begin this process by aligning our energy and intentions with the divine, with the one power and the one presence for the highest and best for all concerned. We use statements of affirmations, statements of truth, things that we know to be true, and denials, denying the power of something that is in our life or an experience that we don't want to carry with us. These help us to focus and tune our thoughts, intentions, and attitudes. And as we grow day by day in consciousness, we experience thinking both as a spiritual being and as a human being. You may have this experience too. Sometimes it feels to me like I'm thinking from two different places in my head, and those two places are having this conversation. I see you shaking your head. So do you have that too? And it took me a long time to really understand what was going on, that there really are multiple places inside of my head, and they do talk to each other, and they think differently. They think differently. So this may account for some confusion in my thinking, my inner thinking, but it also provides us with a perspective to balance and coordinate our thinking. Because we know that we have, oh, this is the intellectual part of me that's thinking this, looking at the facts. And this is the spiritual part of me that knows what things are true, knows the principles and how to apply them and how to anticipate what will happen when I use those powers of good. The white stone ceremony, if you hadn't already guessed, is one of my very favorite services to do because it is an experience for our spiritual growth and development. It is a way to shift our consciousness, to change our thoughts, our feelings, and our beliefs. It is a visioning process that allows us to attune and to open to the unlimited possibilities of Source, to hear, to feel, to see, and to receive. Spiritual guidance for living with a new filter for our perception. A lot of this ceremony is based upon elements of the book of Revelation. And it's Revelation interpreted metaphysically. And it provides practical instructions for our spiritual journey toward conscious union with God, our enlightenment. The story in Revelation is told about the experience of Jesus on his journey to Christhood, the journey we take when we follow his path, and how our life experience may seem as we approach and accept our own Christhood. So it's a guide. I mean, we don't necessarily have to have the same experiences. And yes, agreeing, yes, thank you. But when we're on that path, we're going to go through growth experiences, things that may be frightening, things that we want to release and let go and not continue to take with us. And we'll have opportunities like the White Stone ceremony to take on a new identity, a new picture of who we are, to fine-tune who it is that we are becoming. In Revelations chapters 2 and 3, the Christ mind dictates an individual message to each of the 7 churches of Asia. Now, in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, Charles Fillmore has defined or has collected the definitions for every proper name that is in the Bible. So it's not a Bible that you sit down and read like the Message version of the Bible or the King James version of the Bible, but it is a dictionary of those terms, those proper noun terms that you find in the Bible, and what does that mean metaphysically. So if you're going to get involved, Sandra, if you're going to get involved in doing metaphysical Bible interpretation, it's a very, very helpful tool to have, and very heavy. So that's one of the things that I learned in ministerial school was you carry a little bag that has, with wheels, that has all of your books from class to class because it's too heavy to carry otherwise. So Charles Fillmore says that Asia is defined as within. And this signifies the inner, the spiritual aspect of individual consciousness. The messages are unique by church. Each of the 7 churches has a unique and individual message, but they all have a similar format. Basically, they cover 4 points. The first point is, here are some areas of your life where you are not living up to your Christ potential. Number 2, if you continue in this way, here are some of the problems you can expect to encounter. Very, very much like the old prophets in the Old Testament. You know, if this is what you're doing, this is what you're going to get. And number 3, so if you will receive it, here is some guidance to improve your intentions and your behaviors. I think that prophets kind of talk like that too. They said, change this and this will happen. And so the 4th thing is, if you do this, if you make these changes, if you overcome this situation that you have, then here is what I will give to you. Here is what I will give to you. Revelation chapter 2, verse 17 gives us the message for the third church in Pergamos. And this is something that, these words are something that you may have heard before. Probably have. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. To him that overcomes, I will give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and on the stone a new name is written, which no man knows, saving he that receives it. Sometimes you will hear this concept, this statement called the overcomer's promise. If you overcome this, then I will give you hidden manna. So here are a couple of interpretations, since the book of Revelations is so metaphorical. It has lots of pictures and lots of energy. So the first interpretation is that by being attentive to inner guidance, what I'm hearing inside of myself, you will receive manna. And manna is all that you need. It is everything that you need. It is the same manna, the same source of substance that the Israelites received when they were walking through the wilderness in the Old Testament times. So it's all that you need. It's food, it's sustenance, it's everything. That's all they needed, was what God was providing to them with manna. And I will give you an inner joy and an awareness of your divine origin, which provides a sense of identity, thus the name, a different way, that is different from any way that you are known at this time. So whatever you think the name is that you carry, like clumsy, that's one of the words that I used to carry. Whatever the word is, you can let that go. You can release that, and you can pick up a new name. The second way, another way of interpreting that same phrase is, and this is the Christ mind that is speaking in interpreting this. I have observed your expression of spiritual love. I have watched how you love, how you express your spiritual love. Overcoming events, even the belief in separateness. You express this belief by holding fast to a connection with God and perceiving the presence of God in other people. When we, our message to our kids is, I behold the Christ in you. We maybe should have sung that I behold the Christ in you hymn that's in our hymnal. But it is that process of seeing that goodness, that essence of God that is in each of us. And as I stand here and I look at each one of you around this room, I can see that. I can see that energy that flows through you and out of you that is the essence of God energy. So this is another way that we have expressed our progress in consciousness to our oneness with God. Unity has an annual theme each year. Well, I don't know about each year, but the last couple of years they've had a theme. And our theme this year brought us this little booklet, How to Stay Centered No Matter What. And when I first saw that, I thought, gosh, that's a tall order, how to stay centered no matter what. So there's a reading, there's a study, a little short 3 or 4 page study guide for each month in the year. And each month then is dedicated to one of the 12 powers. So this being July, our spiritual power for the month of July is understanding. Understanding. And the affirmation is, with spiritual understanding, I know everything is unfolding for my highest good. With spiritual understanding, I know everything is unfolding for my highest good. Can you agree to that? Yeah. This is one of those leaps in consciousness to say, I know, regardless of what it is, that this is here for my good. And when we believe that, when we work with that, work with our spiritual tools, then we do overcome that. We overcome that fear, that anxiety, that worry, that anticipation of something bad is going to happen because 3 good things happened. You know, whatever it is. And using our spiritual tools, including the 12 powers, we do overcome habits, old thought patterns, and behaviors. We are able to stand firm in the truth of what we know to be true, that God intends this for good, whatever this is. Know that it is for our good. So in today's ritual, we will release old labels, names that we have carried, things like afraid, virus, restriction, closed, limitation, can't, not enough. You know, sometimes release is not easy, especially of some of these fear thoughts, because these thoughts are things that have been with us for over a year now. Things that are related to the virus and the pandemic and the things that we have chosen to do to keep ourselves safe and to keep other people that we care about safe. And being mindful of the overcomer's promise, we must still release these limiting fears and attitudes. We must do that. We must let them go, because when we think about them, when we give them our thought energy, our anxiety energy, we are feeding them, and we are helping them to become bigger and more powerful. And I do not want to do that. I do not want to do that. However, when we do actually release these things, these thoughts, these feelings, and these beliefs, there is within us a clear, sacred space that develops. And that space is available to accept new energy, new intentions, and new guidance. This is demonstrated in this ceremony by the new name from Spirit, a direction for our growth and experience, our vision for this present moment, and our expanding future. A new name. a new heart connection with the Christ within. New perspective of oneness between our thinking and that one power, one presence in the universe. It's a new melting of heart, softening of attitude, everything made new by Spirit who restores us. So, some of the past names that I have received for my white stones include love, light, health, peace, joy, surrender, allowing, forgiveness, awareness, oneness, and enough. Enough. Now, there are times, I won't speak for you, but I know for myself, there are times that I do not feel like I'm in alignment with the divine mind. I may fall away from faith, having true, absolute faith in truth principles. And I may no longer believe that good is here or that good is coming. And you know what happens? It doesn't come. It doesn't come because I don't believe that it's going to come. But the good news is that we can think anew. That's the whole of the Jesus Christ message, is we can think anew. We can change our minds. We renew our minds, and we can begin at any moment. And this is one of those moments. Now, many of us have participated in the white stone ceremony in the past. This is fun, right, Tim? This is fun. This is play. This is the joy, one of the joy moments that we have, because we know we are doing something consciously to grow in a new direction toward our oneness with Spirit. We look forward to connecting with the divine and co-creating an intention for this new time in our life. That's why we do it once a year. Or as Tim said earlier, you could do it 3 times a day. We receive a new name, a clear demonstration of Spirit's work in you and in me, our increasing alignment with Christ consciousness. It's a gradual thing. As we grow, we are increasing our conscious awareness. So, we prepare now for the white stone ceremony. And if you do not have, whoops, you don't want my Kleenex. If you do not have a white stone, we have some here. Does everybody have one? I think Bill got some and brought them. Okay, everybody have the white stone? Okay, and so if you're watching this from home later, then just let me say that if you don't have a white stone right now, write your new name on a piece of paper and transfer it to a white stone when you do receive one. So now we begin by engaging the mind, by aligning our thoughts with truth, the truth that we know to be true. And we engage the heart by attuning our feelings to the flow of life energy. And we listen for the voice of Spirit with our new name. Our affirmation today is, I am ready to experience my oneness with God. So I invite you to set aside all but your white stone and the pen. And find a comfortable position with your feet on the floor, and let the seat fully support you. And gently, gently allow your eyes to close. And relax. Breathe deeply. Open your heart. Open your mind to the presence of Spirit. Today, we prepare to receive our new name. As each of us is moving forward in faith, each of us is overcoming our adversity, our doubt. We free ourselves to be more fully conscious of the activity of Spirit in every aspect of our lives. We free ourselves to live more fully, releasing ourselves from bondage, the prison of limiting thoughts about ourselves, one another, and our world. Breathe. Breathe deeply and release. I willingly let go of any belief in lack and limitation. I release that which is holding me back from accepting my highest good. And our heart space is now open to receive. So let us listen now for our new name. And it may be an actual proper name, such as Naomi, that will have personal or metaphysical meaning for us. Or it may be the name of a quality, like confidence or joy. And that even though you may have decided before you arrived here today on what your new name will be, notice how easily Spirit's idea of your name, new name, comes forth. This new name marks a new way of being spiritually. Feel the stone in your hand. These stones come from Jerusalem. Hear it speak to you. Spirit has decreed a new name for you. As you hear it, write it on your stone. Listen. Listen now to the wind words of Spirit. Great Spirit, thank you. Thank you for my new name. And thank you for the clarity and the guidance that I receive to implement all that I desire. This is my new name, my new perspective. I receive it. I accept this truth about myself. I see it. I decree it. I am on my path to gaining greater insight and awareness. Today, my new name marks my beginning at a new level of consciousness. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. I encourage you to write today's date on your stone so you will remember this stone in your collection. Today is 7/18/21. And I ask that as you leave, please return any borrowed pins into the basket, wherever the basket may be. Bill's got it. All right. Be you new. Think new.